In this lesson, we are going to talk about graphing a line using x and y intercepts. The first thing that you have to remember is the y-intercept is the point that the graph or the line crosses the y-axis. If you look at the graph on the right, you can see that the y-intercept is right here where the line is crossing the y-axis. And you can see that the x-coordinate of this point is 0. So always remember the y-intercept, the x-coordinate is 0. For the x-intercept, we define x-intercept to be a point that the graph or the line crosses the x-axis. If you look at the graph on the right, you can see that x-intercept is right here where the line is intercepting with the x-axis. You can see that the y-coordinate of this point is always 0. How do you find the y-intercept? If you look at the definition, we found out that the y-intercept has always x-coordinate equal to 0. So what you have to do is that the equation of the line, you have to set x is equal to 0. And then what you do is that you solve the linear equation to find the y value. The y value and the 0 is going to be a point which is the y-intercept of the line. To find the x-intercept, what you have to do is you have to set y equal to 0 and find x. Because if you remember, we said that the x-intercept y is always 0, so we are going to set y equals 0 in our equation and solve for x, and this is going to be your x-intercept. Now how you graph a line using x and y intercept is very simple. You use the technique that we defined yesterday to find x and y intercepts, and then when you have x and y intercepts, these are going to be 2 points, and 2 points is enough to graph a line. So plot the 2 points and then connect them using a line. Our first example is to graph the line 5x plus 2y equal to 10 using x and y intercept. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to find the x-intercepts. To find the x-intercept, we're going to set y equal to 0. So we get 5x plus 2 times y is equal to 10. We know that 2 times 0 is going to give you 0, so we get 5x is equal to 10. Dividing both sides by 5 gives you x is equal to 2. So the x-intercept is going to be the point 2, 0. To find the y-intercept, we will set x equal to 0. And then we solve for y. This is going to be 0 because 5 times 0 is 0. So we get 2y is equal to 10, or divide by 2, we get y is equal to 5. So the y-intercept is 0 and 5. Now we are going to go on our graph and start plotting the points. The first point we are going to plot is the x-intercept, which is given here, 2 and 0, and the next is 0 and 5, which is the y-intercept. The first one is 2 and 0, so it's going to be the point here. And the y-intercept is 0 and 5, so it's going to be this point. Now what you have to do is to use your ruler and just draw a line, straight line, which goes through these 2 points. If you draw the line as we did here, the blue line, it goes through the 2 points, and this represents the equation 5x plus 2y. Now we are going to solve another example. We have to plot the graph 2/3 x plus y minus 2 is equal to 0. I'm sure you will be tempted to use your calculator and find what is 2 over 3, which is 0.6666, and so forth. Probably that's not a good idea. Just leave the fraction the way it is, and we will solve the equation much easier without using the calculator. So to find the x-intercept, I'm going to set y equal to 0. So I'm going to get 2/3 x plus 0 minus 2 is equal to 0. Now, 0 does not change anything about the equation, so I get 2/3 x minus 2 is equal to 0. I will bring negative 2 to the right to change the sign, so I'm going to get 2/3 over x is equal to 2. Now to solve this one for x, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. So 3 goes with 3, so I get 2x is equal to 2 times 3 is 6. I divide by 2, and I get x is equal to 3. So this means the x-intercept is the point 3 and 0. We do exactly the same thing for y-intercept. We will set x equal to 0. So 2/3 0 plus y minus 2 is equal to 0. This one is going to give me 0. So I get y minus 2 is equal to 0. I will move negative 2 to the right and change the sign, so I get y is equal to 2. So the y-intercept is going to be 0 and 2. Now I have this point, which is the x-intercept, and this point, which is the y-intercept. I will plot it on this graph, and then I will connect them with a line. Now the first point is the x-intercept, which is 3 and 0. 3 and 0 is going to be a point which is right here. The next point is 0 and 2, which is going to be a point right here. Now I'm going to use a ruler, and I'm going to draw a line going through these 2 points. As you can see, I have drawn a red line going through the 2 points, x-intercept and y-intercept, and what you see is the line representing by equation 2/3 x plus y minus 2 is equal to 0.